you're born in 65. I'm doing the math.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan passed away in 04. Okay, so we would have made you around 39 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You're California. He's California. Did you ever meet Reagan?
Yes.
And what was that?
It was my first time to vote for president was his second term.
Okay.
It was towards the end of his term. He did an event down in L.A., and I went to the rally and was able to meet him.
How was it?
Oh, it was amazing. Look, I grew up in a family of all Democrats in Bakersfield, California, right? My father's Irish, my mother's Italian. We had the best fights in the neighborhood. I was the youngest in the family. Everybody was a Democrat. I was the only Republican.
Literally,
yeah. And how I got in politics is different, okay? My father was a fireman, and he moved furniture to make extra money on his days off. And so when I got out of high school, they didn't have wealth to send me to college, so I went to junior college. And this one guy owned a liquor store that would sell his beer underage, but he had a car dealer's license. So I told him, I'd give you $100 if you take me to the LA car auctions. It's where all the dealers bring their trade-ins. So I started buying and selling cars and flipping them to pay my way through college. It's illegal, but I didn't know it while I was doing it, right? And so what you do when you go to community college, you go visit your friends away at college. My best friend, Marshall Dillard, was a running back at Stanford. My other buddies at SC, my other buddies at San Diego State. So I pick up my friend, and we're going to go to San Diego State for the weekend and visit our friends. So I go to the grocery store to cash a check to have money. That's 1985. The day before the lottery started in California. So when I cash the check, I buy a lottery ticket and I win the lottery. The most you can win, I was one of the first winners, is $5,000. But put yourself in my place. It's Friday night. You're 20 years old. You just won $5,000 before Biden inflation. And you're going to spend the weekend 10 minutes from Tijuana. Okay. So I come back. I take my folks to dinner.
Never been. I don't know where Tijuana is. Go ahead. Man.
Well, I take my folks to dinner. My brother orders. I could still tell you what they ordered. Steak Diana. It was the nicest restaurant we had ever been to.
Yeah, we ordered different things in Tijuana, but
I give my brother and sister each $100, and I take the majority rest of the money. You'll learn this about me. I take risk. I put it all into one stock. I make 30% of my money in 6 weeks. Kind of luck. The semester comes, and I decide I'm going to go try to buy a franchise. So I try to buy a Subway. They won't sell me one because I'm only 20. Another thing you'll learn about me is I never give up. So I go and I open my own deli. I build the counter in my dad's garage. And in all my businesses, I learned 3 lessons. First to work, last to leave, last to be paid. And I do pretty well. I now, at the end of 2 years, have enough money that I could pay my whole way through college as long as I go to Cal State. And I wouldn't have to work. So I'm going to Cal State. I open up the local paper. It says,
which Cal State?
Cal State Bakersfield.
Okay.
So I open up the paper. And I wanted to finish my college. No one in my family had gotten a 4-year degree yet. So I'm going to school, and there's an article in the paper to be a summer intern in Washington, D.C. with my local congressman. I don't know the man, but I thought he'd be lucky to have me. So I apply, and you know what he does? He turns me down. You want to know the end of the story? That's the seat I got elected to and became the 55th Speaker of the House.
Get out of here.
Only in America can that happen.
Wow. What a great story. Yeah, and I think we talked about this as well on the last call. By the way, is that the picture of is this your office? Or
Yeah. Okay, so this is what drove me to be Republican. I have Ronald Reagan, and he's in color, right, and happy. So you know what? If you asked Reagan advice today, he'd tell any American, no matter what they believe, if you believe your policies bring people more freedom, there's no reason to be angry. You should be happy, right? The idea today that we think we're more conservative if we're angry, or we think we're more liberal if we're angry, doesn't get you anywhere. It just means people don't want to have dinner with you. Reagan was a happy conservative because he knew his principles. He knew the world would be better. See if you have a picture of Abraham Lincoln. Another reason why I'm driven, okay? And my portrait of Lincoln is in black and white.
I don't know if that guy's happy, though. He doesn't.
No, he's not happy.
It's the opposite, I was going to say.
But this is why.
Oh.
Okay, here's Lincoln. So
he looks like he's got to use a bathroom.
The first Republican president. But if you asked Lincoln, I mean, there's a great book. Have you read Angela Duckworth's Grit?
Yes.
Yeah, this is it. Nobody has more grit than Lincoln. But what Lincoln would tell you, think about this. Don't put off tough decisions for the future, right? The whole debate of slavery did not start in the 1850s. It started at the creation of our nation. But our founders thought it's too divisive, so they put it aside. Hundreds of thousands of grandchildren had to die. This guy not only saved, and think about the words he said. 77 years ago, our forefathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated the proposition that all men are created equal. He's gone to say, but if we fail, government of the people, by the people, for the people shall not perish from earth. There is no other nation that's conceived in liberty and dedicated everybody's equal. There's a reason why America has to lead like that shiny city on the hill, right? Doesn't mean you have to be in every nation. The idea of America is so powerful, right? This guy never gave up. Mm-hmm. He failed twice at Senate. He failed at VP. He failed in business. His girlfriend died. He had a mental breakdown, and then he gets elected president. When he gets elected president, November 1860, not sworn in until March 1861, 7 states leave the Union. He never once blamed Buchanan. He built the Intercontinental Railway while the country was divided, knowing what the next 50 years would actually be by. Think for a moment, what would America have been had he not been assassinated? We would not have waited till the 50s and 60s to have a civil rights movement. Malice towards none. This is what drives. Now, do you have another one of Washington crossing the Delaware? I'd have these paintings on purpose in my office. And this is a unique one. Okay, this is 8 feet by 16 feet. Right there. Right there. See the color? Okay, I want you to look at this picture. So this took place Christmas 1776, all right? But the famous painting is not painted till 1850, 1851, not even painted by an American, but an immigrant, Emanuel Lentz, who was a German immigrant who lived in America.
That's not the one. It's a different one.
It's a different one, but this is one made up.
Totally get it.
Okay, so why did he paint it? He goes back to Germany, and he wants Germany to have a revolution based upon the freedoms and values of America. His talent was art. So he'll say, I paint this picture based upon the story I was told to inspire him. He gets it historically incorrect. If you talk to historians, they'd say Washington crossed in a Durham boat. He puts 13 people in a rowboat. Why would he pick the number 13? 13 colonies, right? But you only see 12 faces. But look at Washington standing up, his hand on his chest. Look at his uniform. You would think that man has never lost a battle, right? But history tells us at that moment he's always lost. That was our first victory when we surprised the Hessians. Now, what I want you to see, if you go in the back, there's a Native American, and then next to him, and expand that a little bit. That's a farmer, but do you see the hand across the farmer's face? If you expand it, you'll be able to see it, right? And
does it allow you to rap or no?
Hang on.
Let's see if we can do it this way. There you go.
Okay, see that hand across his face?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's the hand of the 13th person you don't see. So what this artist, I believe, is saying is, here we are, not a country, but an idea, having lost every battle with unbelievable odds against us, willing to risk everything on what you would call our holiest of night. Here's a hand. Would you get in to join us? That's as true today as it was then. If Americans get in the boat together, they row in the same direction, there is nothing we cannot overcome.
That is so powerful. The characters that we're talking about, Reagan, Washington, Lincoln.
Teddy Roosevelt, I add.
Teddy's another one on that list as well. We are byproducts of what they were willing to do so we can have the freedom that we have today. And this is why America is the greatest country in the world. Now, it's our part, what we're going to be doing with it, right?
But that's why our responsibility, because it's not guaranteed.
Yeah. This is the USA gear, limited edition for the rest of the year. If you love America, sport this USA gear. On the side, it says Future Looks Bright. On the back, it says Valuetainment. On the side, it's got the American flag. We got the shirts. We got the flip-flops. These are the only flip-flops I wear when I'm at the house and walking the dogs. It feels amazing with the gel in it. So if you love America, if you believe the future looks bright, if you love Valuetainment, click on the link above or below. Go wear some of the gear and tag us because we share the pictures on the podcast all the time. So go to vtmerch.com and place your order.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.